Hello, people. Welcome to yet another episode on Football Dialogue. And today we'll be reviewing the game that happened over the weekend. Um, and I'll be starting with Chelsea again. We had the first game at lunchtime, Chelsea versus Fulham. It was an interesting watch. So many controversies in the game regarding the referee making a blatant error, which, from my own perspective, I believe that isn't the case. A player got fouled in the middle of the pitch, and there was a immediate counter attack which led to Chelsea conceding a goal. And after review, the goal was disallowed, and a free kick was awarded to Chelsea. Rightly so, from my own perspective, because stamping on the player's foot, whether intentional or not, whether it's an accident, no one cares. You foul the player, you foul the player. He's been made not to be able to do his job again on the pitch when he's been stamped on his foot. Because how will you move when you feel pains in your foot? You actually have stopped him from doing his job, basically. So simple foul. That's the case. Full stop. And next, Fulham, they played on, and then we got our goal late in the first half from Joao Pedro. Always comes through for us. Proper signing, good signing for Chelsea. A headed goal again, and that's like a new thing for Chelsea, a new strength that we are having in our team, scoring set pieces, corner kicks. It's a new thing, and it's something that is going to give us the lift that we need this season to be able to scale through. So good one for us. And then later in the game, in the second half, Chelsea scored another goal, and that was a penalty which was dispatched by Enzo Fernandez, despite having a bad game. From my own perspective, and you can see so many Chelsea fans after the game, and even during the game after I scored, and at the end of the game, they were praising Enzo Fernandez and singing his praises. And it's not a surprise, because as fans, you should cheer your players even when they've had bad games, and it helps them to be able to bounce back from a poor game. But I don't think Enzo Fernandez is going to treat that as having a bad game, from the praises that he has received. Um, so, and his reaction during the halftime, when it was halftime, showed that he felt like he's doing a lot. I don't know why he's reacting like that, because if you've had a bad game and people are pointing at you that you've had a bad game, you have to look at yourself and see what how you can improve, how you can be better when you return to playing again. You're the captain. You are the first person to own up to criticism. You should own up to it, especially if you're not giving enough as expected. So, but that wasn't the case. Enzo Fernandez, to me, his reactions was not good enough from what I saw in the clips at halftime. And I just hope he's not going to create a bad atmosphere at the bridge. But players, even after the game, fans, I mean, were singing his name, singing Enzo Fernandez, just where Chelsea fan TV was situated. And it was a shocker to see our captain have a bad game and he's getting praised. So I don't understand the standards that has been set at the bridge. Because if this was some other players, I don't think they are going to sing his praises. They will get a lot of stick. So, but we move on anyways. He had an assist that led to Joao Pedro's goal, and he scored a goal, which is good for us. 3 points in the bank, Chelsea. And like I said, I expected us to be able to beat Fulham, but it led to so much controversy, saying we did not deserve the 3 points. However, we didn't start well, which is something that has been repetitive at the bridge. we usually don't start well in so many games that I've watched over the year, and we turn out to be better in the second half. But saying overall we don't deserve the 3 points is very incorrect. I think we deserve the 3 points, and we had it, which is good for Chelsea. And what else? Fulham played a good game. They kept to their style. They were very stable, like I've always said. Marco Silva has set them up in the best way to yield positive results for Fulham. And the players understand what they need to do, what the manager wants them to do. So, which is good from Fulham side. And I think they are going to be better than I think they are this season, because they are not in any European competition and they look like a very decent side, even after not making so many signings. But at deadline, they were able to bring in a couple of players in the likes of Samuel Chukwueze from Chelsea, which I'm excited about, and as well as Kevin, a Brazilian from Shakhtar Donetsk. Good for Fulham, and I really do believe that's going to strengthen them. However, they could not get the deal through for Tyreek George of Chelsea. That was a shocker for me, thinking after watching Tyreek play against Fulham and then deadline day after the weekend, him being made to agree a deal with Fulham and move on to the other side in West London. But he's staying put, and he has been included in the B list for our Champions League. So I really do think Tarek George can develop at Chelsea. But if he desires to have much more game time elsewhere, that's fine. That's the case for him, because obviously the players, they need to make decision that is going to be best for themselves. So good one for Chelsea, unbeaten so far this season, and I hope we carry on. And the next game being Brentford, I think we can also win that as well. So that is going to set us up for a good run against the likes of Liverpool and Arsenal to challenge for the title. So next on the list, Man U Burnley. I didn't watch any of the 3 p.m. kickoff games. After watching the Chelsea game, I couldn't make it on time to watch all of the other games at 3 p.m. But Man U Burnley, my prediction was a 2-2, but it happened to be a late winner from Man U, and which was a penalty. From what I've seen, good one for Manchester United, helped them to bang in 3 points, and they are ahead of Manchester City, their neighbors, which is I wouldn't say it's a surprise. Manchester City look to struggle. They look to struggle. After I watched them play against Tottenham Hotspur, they didn't seem like they were going to beat Brighton. So, but I thought it was going to be a draw anyways, but it happened to be a win for Manchester City, and that has left them behind Manchester United on the table, a point behind. But these teams are going to play against each other very soon. Manchester United have got a very tough run of fixtures in the next couple of weeks. So the expectation is that they are going to go down to the bottom of the table at some point, except something miraculous happens. So 3-2 Burnley, good win. What matters is you getting maximum points. Whichever way that you do it, it doesn't really matter. They have their full 3 points, which is good for them. Burnley gave it their best at Old Trafford. So, if you score 2 goals against Manchester United at Old Trafford, when you are Burnley, I think you should see that as a good result. So good one for them. Next one, Tottenham Hotspur versus Bournemouth. It's another game that I wanted to really watch, because it's a team and another team that I really like in Bournemouth, which they are set up by the best manager in the league, in Andone Iraola, against Thomas Frank, who is new to the Tottenham Hotspur team, and we have seen significant improvement in the way that they play, in the way that he has set the team up. But losing to Bournemouth at home, it's not something the Tottenham fans will be able to take in well. Something that is going to infuriate them, especially after winning your first 2 games. they expected that they can actually maybe even stay unbeaten at least, or stretch their run to be among those who has acquired maximum points in the games that they've played this season. But that wasn't the case. They were outplayed at home by Bournemouth team, and they couldn't even get a goal. Bournemouth went away with a clean sheet, and Bournemouth are currently in 6 points. You know, people thought Bournemouth are going to be fighting for relegation. I never had a single thought that that would be the case, because I know they have a good manager that can get them to at least in the mid-table, and which I think is going to do this season. But with the signings that they've made, I really do not know a lot about the players that they've signed, but is something that I think Andoni Iraola, if he's the one that went for those players, I think is going to get the best out of them, and they are going to improve the Bournemouth team significantly. Yeah, so watch out for Bournemouth this season. I'm going to be watching out for them too as well. I'll see. I'll be looking out for them and see what Andoni Iraola can do with the team that he's got now. And next one, Sunderland Brentford. Sunderland Brentford, a win for Sunderland at the Stadium of Light. Good win for them. 6 points now for a team that so many thoughts will be fighting for relegation, because they have just come from the Championship, and using the most recent data from Championship teams that come into the Premier League, and three of the teams going back again to the Championship. But I've always said is that that's not going to be the case for Sunderland, because the investments that they've made to their squad, and after sealing a place in the Premier League, they've shown that they are not here to, they don't want to go back. They despise going back. They despise the Championship. So you would see them doing so well in the league this season. I believe they are going to do so well in the league. That's why I think they can actually achieve qualification for European football next season. But let's see how it goes. I'm waiting to watch them play full time, because most of the time they play when I actually want to watch some other games. But I haven't watched them play, like put so much focus on them to see how they play. But I know at least they've been able to crack out 2 decent results, which is good for them. So next, Brentford, like I said, they are a team that might be battling for relegation this season with their the what they've done in the markets, and the players they've let out, the quality of players they've let out, and the quality of players that they've brought in. And you could see there's a disparity in both ways, in both sides, which is not good enough for Brentford if they want to survive in the Premier League, especially when every other clubs are strengthening and they are weakening their team, and haven't lost their manager too as well. So there's going to have a negative impact on Brentford, and you could see that in the result. However, they got a win against Aston Villa, but it's a marathon anyways, and an injury to a key player in their team could even cause even more damage. So that's it. Next one, Wolves Everton. This was a game that I actually knew Everton were going to win based on how Wolves have been playing so far in the league this season. But during the midweek, they happened to beat West Ham at home by coming down from a goal to win the game late in the match, and that was a significant boost for them, playing at home and eliminating West Ham. However, West Ham isn't a great side, and they they stayed at home and welcomed Everton, and they were able to go toe to toe with Everton. They were able to fight, but it was not enough to give them a point, or the points that they need, and they lost the game like I predicted that they will. 3-2 to Everton. Good game from Jack Grealish again. Jack Grealish is getting his hands on the Everton team, and same as Kiernan Dewsbury from Chelsea. Is looking very good. He's looking like a very good player for Everton, which I believe that is going to turn out to be an integral player for the Everton side under David Moyes. David Moyes being a traditional Premier League manager, he knows how to handle clubs like Everton. He's going to make them very stable, getting a particular spot in the league consistently 7-8 is a manager that can consistently achieve that, except some massive investment just coming to Everton. But now that there's PSL, the changes will not be significant like that like what happened to Manchester City in the past. So I think they will still find themselves hovering around that spot in the years to come if they can keep David Moyes in the team, because he is a good manager. He's a very good manager. So 3-2 for Everton, good result for them. That's 3 points. Is that 3 points? Is that 6 points for Everton? I think they have 6 points now. Yeah, I think 6 points for Everton. Good one for them. Good one for them. So yeah. Next one, Leeds Newcastle. I watched the game. It was a boring game because Newcastle. I don't know why Eddie Howe went to Leeds, knowing fully well with the way that Leeds play, it's an opportunity to be able to maximize your point, especially when you haven't even won a game this season. This was a good opportunity for the Newcastle team to win, and them knowing fully well that players will be going on international break. How he got to start with the X side that he did, I don't really understand, because it was really poor from Eddie Howe for him to leave Elanga on the bench and to leave Harvey Barnes on the bench too as well. I don't know why he's experimenting in a game that he needs maximum points from, to put them in, at least to stabilize the team and reduce the pressure on Newcastle. But that wasn't the case. He started, he made some changes to his team and the way that they set up. I think he was playing a, a back five against Leeds United with Trippier and Livramento on the wing backs, while Murphy and who was the other player they were the two that were up front, which it was Murphy and Osula were the two up front, which was shocking because Osula is not even a starter. And Murphy haven't started a game for them. I don't know why. Maybe he underrated Leeds United and he just thought that he could get a result with some of these bench players, but that wasn't the case. They should have even considered a goal, but they were able to find a point in the game, and they they went away with the points. Well, the game was just, I wasn't really excited about the game. It was like I wasted my time watching the game, to be fair. And then Elanga came in the second half, but he couldn't influence the game. He replaced Murphy because if you're going to be playing a lead side, you need pace up front. You need pace and people that understand each other so well. So I believe he should have just gone with Averbanks, Murphy on the side, and maybe Elanga up top. It could have worked out for him, or maybe Barnes up top, Murphy on the side, Elanga on the other side. Three of them can actually play more 2 or 3 positions in the attack. So it would have just worked out for him to play with 3 of them like that, and maybe bring in Osula later on in the game. But it is what it is. Goalless draw for them. Newcastle fans, they've got 2 points now, I think. Yeah, a draw at Villa and a draw against Leeds now. 2 points. It's only a loss against Liverpool. But with the signings that they've made in Wodemade and Johan Wissa, good signing for them anyways. I think they'll be able to get going this season when the Premier League returns after the international break. So Newcastle are ones to watch now, because those 2 signings that they've made are really good. Well, the Made, I not really watched him play for his club, but when I watched him play in the Euro under 21, he seemed like a decent player. So he's one to watch. But the thing that any player that comes from Bundesliga, a player that there's always question mark to whether they are going to succeed in the Prem. So it's only a few players that have succeeded with the likes of Soboslai. Soboslai he was a very good player, and the fact that he's not even a German, he's from Hungary, a team that are just building a new crop of players, and they have that hunger in them. I think that was what must have set him up to be able to at least have positive influence in the league and for Liverpool as well. So what the Made want to watch, I've watched him play. He looks like a good player, to be fair. But we'll see when the league returns. We'll see how he can actually get going with the Newcastle team. That is if he's even going to start, because you don't want to trust Eddie Howe now. He might just be starting Johan Wissa with Wodemade on the bench. So next one, On the list, Sunday games, Brighton, Man City. That was a serious upset. Man City losing to Brighton. I thought it was a game that is going to be a draw because Man City haven't lost against Tottenham Hotspur. I was expecting a response from them, but it looks like they don't seem to be a team ready to fight for anything this season. They don't look motivated enough. Pep Guardiola seemed to be puzzled. He seemed to be struggling to make his stamp in the Manchester City team this season with how he wants them to play. Like I think he's relaxed a bit now. He's allowing them to play however that they like, and after signing players that have got some great skills, but it's not about the squad now. It's about the team. It's about the understanding. It's about how they play. It's about the level of mentality that they've got. But for Manchester City, I don't really see that right now. I see a team that are still saying, oh, we might be far off the likes of Liverpool and Arsenal. And it's going to be very uneasy for us to be able to kick on this season. And it doesn't seem like they have leaders in the team anymore, even though they still have the likes of Bernardo Silva and Rodri in the team. Rodri being injured for a while, but back in the team now, and he played in over the weekend against Brighton. But we didn't see much from the team as a whole. It was not good enough. And Brighton got the 3 points that they deserve, which was good to see. Brighton, like I said, they are going to be just behind the top dogs this season. So I believe they are going to get European place this season. They have got a good team, good style of play, a, a fantastic manager, young, good manager. So I expect Brighton to be able to find themselves in a good position this season, come the end of the season. So next one on the list, Nottingham Forest versus West Ham. That was a shocker for everyone, except there are some crazy people out there that really do think West Ham were going to beat Forest. You know, Forest were playing at home, and the expectation is that with the way that they play, with the signings that they've made up, despite the tension in the squad between the owner and David Moyes, the manager, no one saw this coming, and not from a side being set up by Graham Potter, but West Ham went to Nottingham Forest after losing so many games, losing to Wolves in the midweek in the Carabao Cup, losing to Chelsea 5-1, losing to Burnley 3-0. The expectation is that we are going to see a high-scoring game that is going to be one-sided, which would be Nottingham Forest, but the reverse was the case, and West Ham found a way to get points again in the league, and they got maximum point, 3 points. Jared Bowen, what a good game that he had, and Paqueta too, what a brilliant player. He is a brilliant player. It's just that he needs to show some high level of consistency to his game, and he's going to get a big move. He, however, almost got a big move this summer to Villa, but Villa couldn't get him, and they had to replace not being able to get him in with Harvey Elliott from Liverpool on loan, which is good for them. However, it saves them from the net spend in this season. So they got him on loan and most likely going to have an obligation for. Is he an obligation or a? I'm not really sure, but it could be a choice, not an obligation. So, well, £35 million is a fair valuation for Harvey Elliott next season because he's a player that I know that is going to crack it at Villa Park this season. He's a good player, good English player. He's strong. He's got all the qualities that a professional footballer needs to be able to succeed. So I think going to be a very good signing for Aston Villa, and they've got like 4 English boys in the attack. So I think they could build a good level of understanding with Watkins up top, Rogers behind, Jadon Sancho on the left, and Elliott on the right. Good one for them. Good one for them. It's an attack that I want to see in the Prem this season. Can't wait for the Premier League to be back now. There are a lot of games that I would want to watch. So good one for them. So West Ham, going back to the West Ham, Graham Potter, first for him, first for Graham Potter, for him to be able to get a clean sheet against Nottingham Forest away from home. Good one for West Ham, good game for West Ham. Their fans, at least the pressure has reduced a bit, and they would be expecting to see what their team can do after this game. They'll be anticipating the next game very much. So that's I'll be looking out for West Ham to see what they can do again because I never even knew Somerville was still in the team. He came onto the game and he just caused so much problem for Nottingham Forest. Ola, was panicking on the right. Sangare couldn't stop. No one could help themselves because Somerville destroyed their midfield to their defense, and just caused so much havoc for Nottingham Forest. So, yeah, Somerville on the left, Bowen on the right, Paqueta down the middle, and Full Cook up top. West Ham, I was saying they are going to fight for relegation, but let's see what they can do in the next couple of games. But I will still put them fighting for relegation because they haven't got a great manager in Graham Potter anyway. So sometimes you can just fluke a result and you think everything is all good, but we'll wait and see. But Somerville coming back to the team, he might really be a very good one for them. Very good one for them. So next one on the list, Liverpool Arsenal, the big game, the game that all of us were anticipating, especially Chelsea fans after winning Fulham. We were doing our 8-watch. Manchester United was almost successful, and we saw Tottenham lose, which was good for us, and Man City losing too as well. Fantastic 8-watch. And then Liverpool Arsenal. We wanted a result that is going to favor us. Either Arsenal lose or the game is a draw. And what happened was close to the best. A draw would have been best for us, at least leaving all of us on the same number of points. But Arsenal losing is still very good. That's the second result for us, which keeps us in second place behind Liverpool. Arsenal fans think this is a game that they can actually win, but it seems like they really do not know. They make mistake every season. Their expectation is always too high for their level. They have not gotten there yet. Until you get there, then you can now start to have that level of expectation because we've had better clubs in the past think that they can actually win the league, but it did not come through. They need to use that as a reference. Chelsea have had great team in the past. We thinking we were going to be able to put down Manchester United, but that was never the case. Manchester United went on to win 3 Premier League back to back. When a team has gotten used to winning something, it's very easier, even if they are not that fantastic, because it's something that has to do with the mentality and it's something that it comes natural to them. And when you can actually do something and you can actually do it without putting yourself under so much pressure, it makes things a lot more easier than it is. So once you can fight pressure is the first thing to put out before you can actually make the right steps for you to be able to elevate yourself to a level that you would actually find yourself in. But that's not the case for Arsenal fans. They haven't won the title for a long time, and they keep thinking they can actually win the title the year to come. Until you win it, you can actually now start to expect your club to win the league, because you've made 3 unsuccessful attempts now, and you're still thinking that in the 4th attempt you get it. This season, you might actually go trophyless again this season, to be fair to Arsenal fans, but I don't know why they don't want to accept the truth, but that's their problem anyways. And they lost to Liverpool, even though Liverpool haven't had Isak yet, with Ekitike in the team. However, it was a game of fine margins, like I expected. I expected a tight game, in which it was a tight game. And we just saw a worldie from Soboslai. Free kicks, his free kick was so good that David Villa, who is a very good goalkeeper, was left with no choice but to let the goal in. So good one for Liverpool, good massive 3 points for them. Clean sheet at Anfield against an Arsenal side that is very strong defensively. They lost a couple of players more again during the game. They lost Saliba, who is a very key player for them, and we have no idea how long he's going to be out of the team. And Musquera came in and played good. He was stable. It wasn't like he was having his debut. It just he just adapted to the flow of the game. However, it was early in the games anyway, so the intensity of the game has not really gotten to the level that he might struggle. So it was good that at least it was early on in the game and he was able to adapt quickly, and he had a good game. Good game from the defense as we expected. Arsenal defense is sturdy. They always find a way to extinguish any any attack, and which they did for most part of the game. But sometimes there are all these kind of goals. Sometimes you don't know how to stop them. It was just like it was a bullet from Soboslai, a cracking free kick from him. Good one from Soboslai. He looks like he's going to be a very good player for Liverpool this season, because from a right back position, he's making right back seem like it's an easy job, So playing right back is not an easy job, and so Boslai just make it easy. Someone who is not used to playing in a particular role and just went there and make it seem like there's nothing in the role, Good one from Soboslai. It's been fantastic so far this season. And I think that's the kind of thing that Liverpool needs to keep them stable. Players who are not familiar to a particular role, playing the role and making it seem like they've been playing it for years. Good one for them. Good one for them. So Arsenal, after the signing of Victor Gyökeres, they think they have the title, and they saw their team play. After signing Madueke again, they lost confidence that they might actually win the league, and they went ahead and they signed Eberechi Eze, and then we all thought Arsenal are going to win the league. But with Liverpool's activity in the market, I don't think that's going to be the case again. Isak signing is a game changer. That's a statement signing of you wanting to retain the title that you already hold. Good one from Liverpool. But like you said, like I've always said, most Arsenal fans that don't know anything about football, they thought they arrived by signing Victor Gyökeres at his prime, that a striker who at his prime currently have a similar ability with the projected ability of a 37-year-old Lukaku. When they watch Isak play for Liverpool at Anfield, they will actually realize that they've made an astronomically erroneous judgment, because it's going to be clear to the blind when they see the difference between Isak and Gyökeres and the impact that they are going to have for their team. So Arsenal fans, you guys should brace up for what is to come. It is going to be a massive fall. People are already showing the elephant images, and it's just 3 games into the season. And Chelsea are already above you guys. So you guys should continue to stay deluded, and we love to see that. We love you guys to be delusional, because if you are not delusional, there's no comedy. The comedy in football will not remain. So we need your delusion to stay the same, so we can continue to have fun and laugh at you guys whenever everything goes south. So good one. Next game, Aston Villa, Crystal Palace. Aston Villa, Crystal Palace, like I predicted, I expected Crystal Palace to deal with Aston Villa like they always do. And even after the loss of Eze to Arsenal, they still managed to repeat the feat that they always have against Aston Villa. Whether home or away, in recent years, Crystal Palace just outplay Aston Villa. No matter how good Aston Villa are, and especially now that Crystal Palace are the one in the better form, it was just an easy expected. It was an easy prediction. It is something that I expected to happen, but I was a bit concerned with Crystal Palace trip away from home in Europe, and now traveling to the Midlands again. But like I said, the Midlands is not a far place from London. It's like a backyard. So expectedly, they went to Aston Villa and they smashed them. But Aston Villa not being able to score at home again is something that is going to worry their fans. But with the signing that they've done in the deadline, I think it's going to put them in a better position than they are now. So good game. Mateta, good player, good striker, is always there to finish the things that is being created from both flanks by Munoz, Michel, Malangsa, and now they've signed Jeremy Pino, fantastic player, good Spanish player, and they've also signed Uche Crisantos from Getafe. Great signing from Uche Crisantos. Is going to be a fantastic player for Crystal Palace. He's a player that I want to watch, and I did not mention the signing of Tolu Arokodare by Wolverhampton. It's good to see that Niger players are actually coming to the Prem now, and it's going to improve the Nigerian squad. At least it's something that Super Eagles are going to benefit from. Having players playing for big clubs is going to help them develop their abilities, and it's something that we want to see. And good one, good one, good one, good one, good one. It was a fantastic weekend overall. However, I didn't watch too many games. The only Saturday game I enjoyed was my game. The Leeds Newcastle game was very bad. I didn't enjoy it at all. Especially my FPL suffered because I just brought in Elanga into the team, and right away he was on the bench. And then, like I saw it, I just thought that we've lost it in terms of points for my FPL team. And then overall, it wasn't a bad game week because so many other people did not do so well too as well. So good one overall. And then that's the review for um, game week 3 games, and we're expecting game week 4 after the international break. And Chelsea will be playing Brentford. And what other good games are we going to be expecting? I think Manchester City are playing Manchester United. Yeah, Man City, Man U, that's a Manchester derby in the next game week. So want to watch? I'll be previewing the game for that one, but next week. So stay on, stay tuned. And this is just the part 1 of today's episode. I'll be talking about my fantasy in the next episode. So stay tuned, guys. I see you all, and thanks for tuning in and enjoying. I hope you enjoyed the video. Like we always say, follow, subscribe, share, turn on your notifications, and I want to see you in the comments. I haven't seen much of you in the comments, so I need many of you to come to the comment to engage me. So let's talk football like we always do. Yeah, so I think I'll leave it there for now. Until next time, thanks for joining, and stay tuned for part 2, which is fantasy football. Bye.